Hi, and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your lovable host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, I wasn't on last night because last night was my only night off the whole week because I'm working the rest of the time, and I just needed a night to myself to have a few beers, listen to some tunes, and just relax basically. So today I've been running around doing all my shopping for the forthcoming week and doing what domestic chores I need to get done at home. So when I finally got to sit down and, once I'd done all that and started to have a little bit of relax on my day off, just sort of having a think to myself about my recent censorship, okay? And the video that I made where I was making comments on a video that's on YouTube. The video that I was making comments on was basically a doctor called James Lyon Wheeler speaking at the Medical Freedom Press Conference in Pennsylvania in October. Now, I'm not going to talk about that, but just to point out, as we pointed out previously, the video that I was actually making comments on is still up on YouTube, okay? And they took my video down and sent me a warning saying that I had broken their terms and policies, and I was, effectively spreading medical misinformation, okay? So we've established as well that what the videos that I've done since that, talking about information that's in the public domain, it can't be that, because it can't be anything like that, can it? Because that information's in the public domain and those videos that I've made since are still up, so it can't be any information in the public domain that I'm spreading any misinformation about, okay? So it's made me even think a little bit more today about, what I actually said in that video that got taken down, and maybe it's me being too overcritical of people like Matt Hancock and Johnson and Patel and Starmer and the rest of them, okay, in the way that they've behaved in all of this, and not just in terms of what we've been specifically talking about in the last week or so, which is the rollout of the vaccine, etc. Yeah, but in all of this, the way that these lockdowns have been enforced, the laws that have been passed, the stories that have emerged about their roles in all of this, so I thought, have I been maybe too critical, of certain people, and that's why it's, been taken down, as maybe someone had a word with someone at YouTube, and that's why it's been taken down. And have I been, too overcritical? So, when I was thinking this, I was just reminding myself, why I formed such an opinion on certain people, yeah? Okay, so let's just have a look. An article that I was recently reading, okay, in the Guardian that was published on the 26th of November 2020, okay? So this is a few weeks ago. So what does it say? Hancock's former neighbour won COVID test kit work after WhatsApp message. Alex Bourne's company producing millions of COVID vials despite no prior experience in medical supplies. Okay? So an acquaintance and former neighbour of Matt Hancock is supplying the government with tens of millions of vials for NHS COVID-19 tests, despite having no previous experience of producing medical supplies. Alex Bourne, who used to run a pub close to Hancock's former constituency home in Suffolk, said he initially offered his services to the UK Health Secretary several months ago by sending him a personal WhatsApp message. Bourne's company, Himpack, was at the time producing plastic cups and takeaway boxes for the catering industry. It is now supplying about 2 million medical grade vials a week to the government via a distributor contracted by the NHS. So, okay, I mean, I'm not going to leave this whole, I'm not going to read, should I say, this whole article for you. I'm going to leave the link in the description. But what it's talking about is this chap, Bourne, his connection to Matt Hancock, okay? But what this article goes on to say, let me just see if I can find it down here somewhere. Here we are. A Suffolk local and friend of Bourne, the guy, Sutvinder Dat, said he had regularly seen Hancock in the pub when he lived in the village and claimed that Bourne and Hancock were friends and buddies. Bourne's lawyers denied that characterisation, saying Bourne does not now have a close personal connection with the health secretary. So he's denying that they've got a close personal connection, okay? But Bourne is now supplying millions of vials via this distributor, okay? Now, tell you what else is interesting. When I was thinking about me being overcritical of Hancock and people like him, and reading this article, which, you know, and me thinking about why I have an opinion, or why my opinion is such as it is of someone like Matt Hancock. I'm trying to get my words out right here, okay? And I tell you what's interesting. I tell you what's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. That I was on the government website, okay, .gov.uk here, okay, and I came across an article from back in the 26th of February 2014, okay, and that's back when we had a coalition government, isn't it, okay? And I tell you what's interesting about this article. I'm not going to read the whole article, okay, but I'm going to read a bit of it to you. And what it says is Indian business angels to make first UK investment. India's largest business angels group is set to make its first investment in a UK startup. Okay, the Indian Angel Network, IAN, is Asia's largest network of over 250 investors, comprising a who's who of successful entrepreneurs and CEOs spread across 10 countries. The successful London-based company, SwitchShift, has invented a software solution that allows companies to quickly fill short notice shifts using their own staff through SMS, email and mobile technology. The announcement, which is subject to due diligence, follows a reception for IAN Investor Group at number 10 on Tuesday the 25th of February 2014, and this was attended by the Prime Minister, which would have been David Cameron, Vince Cable, Matt Hancock and Oliver Letwin. Okay, now thinking about what we've been talking about recently, namely this, the TED Tenders Electronic Daily website, which is a supplement to the official Journal of the EU, which we've established, okay? And what we've also established in the last few days is the regulatory body, and who are they? The MHRA. And who are the MHRA? They're the government, aren't they? Because if they weren't the government, their website wouldn't end in .gov.uk, would it? Okay? And we've established that the MHRA put out a tender, didn't they? And that was published on the 23rd of the 10th, 2020, wasn't it? And that tender that is tender number 506291-2020. Let's just have a look at that again. It's the official name is the MHRA buyer organisation, as we've established in London in the UK, and we've established that the MHRA urgently seek an artificial intelligence AI software tool to process the expected high volume of COVID-19 adverse drug reactions, ADRs, to ensure that no details from the ADR's reaction text are missed, haven't we? And we've also established as well that they spent 500 grand, £500,000, excluding VAT on that tender, didn't they? And we've also established that they spent it with this company, didn't they? A company called Genpact UK Limited. And for anybody that doesn't know, Genpact are an Indian company, aren't they? Aren't they? Yeah? Now let me tell you what's interesting about what I was reading in this article that's on the government's website, okay? That Matt Hancock attended. There we go. Matt Hancock, the Prime Minister, Vince Cable, Matt Hancock, Oliver Letwin. I'll tell you what's interesting about this article is when we look down right at the bottom of the article about the key members of this IAN network, okay, let's have a look at some of the key members, who they are, okay? So, let's have a look here. What does this say right here? Pranod Basin. And who's he? Who's Pranod Basin? He's the founder and vice chairman of Genpact, isn't he? So, it's very, very, very interesting, isn't it, that Matt Hancock must have known this chap from Genpact as way back as 2014. And it's very, very interesting that that company have recently been awarded a £500,000 excluding VAT contract with the MHRA. That's very, very, very interesting, isn't it? Very interesting indeed. And that's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying, because it's very interesting that people that have some kind of association with Matt Hancock seem to be getting awarded contracts. Okay? Very interesting, isn't it? Okay, now, are you starting to get the picture why I've been telling people to start to ask questions about what the hell's going on in all of this? All of it, okay? And I think when I see things like this that are in the public domain that my government in the UK are doing today, of the day currently, I think I've got every right to make comments on it. And I don't think any social media company, be it YouTube, Twitter, Google, whoever it may be, have any business at all in censoring this kind of material, because this kind of material is in the public domain. And all I'm saying is it's very, very interesting, isn't it, that this kind of information is in the public domain, but none of the mainstream media are talking about it. That's very interesting. And it's also very interesting that these people are calling themselves journalists. Okay? Journalists. Because if this kind of information is in the public domain and I can find it, so can they. So, if you've enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, then please like and subscribe to the channel. And once you do, please ring the notification bell so I can inform you of more episodes and instalments of Arno TV that I'm going to put out. And there's going to be a lot more coming, because Arno TV is here to bring you this kind of information, because you're not going to see this kind of information, are you, in the mainstream media, the BBC, ITV or Sky or any of the national papers, are you? Okay, so until I'm back, I want to tell everybody out there, all my subscribers, that I want you guys to look after yourselves and look after yourselves and your friends and your family, and make sure everybody that you know and you care about is all right, and check in with people you care about and make sure that they're doing all right, okay? Because we're not going to rely on the likes of people like Matt Hancock and the mainstream media to look after us. We're going to do it ourselves, aren't we, people? Okay? So I'm going to be back soon with some more videos for you. But thanks for all the new subscribers that have come in as well. I'm going to be back soon. Stay rock and roll, and I want everyone to have a lovely evening.